Hello everyone, friends. Mozart here. It's been a while since I did any reviews, so here's a quick analysis of Bitcoin and altcoins. From my point of view, the limit order around $112,000 still stands. I don't want to change it, because it seems like we've moved above all the key moving averages, but there's no volume, nothing, just this kind of movement. As long as it's growing, roughly speaking, I'm going long. Well, that's what we're doing right now in the trading channel, but we're being very careful, splitting a lot of positions, halving the volume. We're going long very cautiously, taking profits quickly. Because any negative news, even like the upcoming Fed meeting on the 17th, if they say something even just a little bit off, everything will crash down again. Especially since, according to the indicators, Bitcoin is still growing, but just barely. It's pretty weak. And I don't have much confidence in this. So for now, I'm not ready to enter from the current levels. If it goes up here, like I said, above the 118,500 mark with volume, I can see it. I'll consider re-entering from the current levels, but not yet for now. I've set a limit order around 112. This is the daily chart. The 4-hour chart is the same. It's just consolidation. Yes, we've settled above all the key moving averages intraday. But according to the indicators, it's just back and forth again. It's some kind of mess, unclear, in the sideways range. That's what's happening. And honestly, I don't care about this Bitcoin. Just like I wanted, it went into a sideways trend. Total 3. Total market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. We've already broken the high, December 2024, after Trump's victory, which I also congratulate everyone on. 1.15 trillion was the high, meaning the market cap of altcoins. These two targets are still valid for now. 1.19, 1.3. So at 1.19, I'll sell either half or more of my portfolio. Half or more of this portfolio. I'll write later on what exactly I'll close. Maybe I'll close earlier. But again, I won't close it if I opened it publicly without notifying you, roughly speaking. So if I decide to close out earlier, I'll let you know. But for now, I'm waiting for 1.19. So this is a good exit here. Overall, there's this kind of V-shaped reversal here. Basically, it seems like there's still room to grow, right up to 1.19, 1.2. That's the optimal target. Plus, this is an attempt to break out. We've consolidated above R4. We're testing last month's R4. The outer boundary of the monthly pivot corridor. Ideally, it would move like this. Make another high, and in the worst case, go into a deep correction. In the worst case. But for now, I'm still expecting some upward movement. For now. According to the indicators, there isn't really strong momentum either. Again, with echoes from Bitcoin. But it's still growing. So far, judging by the candles, it looks pretty good here. That is, at least it looks better than Bitcoin. Next, on the 4-hour chart, the cube. Within the day, total 3 looks even better. Here, we had a good spike, the peak on September 13th. And this peak was really solid and confident. It was set according to the indicators by RSI. Everything is right there. Everything is set without any divergences. The peak hit perfectly. No divergence, nothing at all. So that's why I'm expecting another little push upward, at least up to there. 1.19, 1.2, maybe after a deeper correction, but still heading there eventually. Plus, we're quite high up. We've moved away from the 200 moving average, from the 50, 100, and so on. It's all the same here. This one looks more interesting, stronger than Bitcoin. And as for Bitcoin dominance, of course, you can clearly see how it's already dropped to almost 57%. Dominance is consolidating at the 100 moving average on the weekly chart. That's not even the yearly anymore. We've confidently fallen below the yearly moving average. So far, there are no major divergences. And it seems like dominance is still weak, although the support level is quite significant. If we break down here and consolidate in this area, that could be the start of the very alt season everyone has been waiting for so long, because the next one will be the 200-week moving average, around 51 to 50%. That's where all the small coins will start to take off, because Ethereum has grown quite a lot. We can remove this channel now. It's useless at this point. There you go. If a strong correction starts, for example, after reaching 1.2 trillion on total 3, a correction could follow, down here, to the yearly moving average. Anything can happen either way. I don't know what will happen first here, and I don't want to know. I trade in the moment. What I see right now? So for now, I'm just waiting for what I see at the moment. Either this way or that way. Those are the two scenarios for total 3. If I close out earlier, I'll post about it in Telegram accordingly. But for now, it looks like there's at least one more wave of growth. Total 3. and all the alts. Plus, as I've already mentioned, AVAX looks pretty good, which is in some ways historically the ancestor of other alts. Usually, they're the first to start growing, like Link, AVAX, coins like Cardano, after which everything else starts pumping. Solana has also already gone up, not bad. By the way, Solana looks pretty decent according to the indicators. Not super strong or anything, but decent. Decent. There's still room before it reaches a new high. It's moved up nicely, as if there's still another push left. It still has room. But most importantly, the total 3 weekly candles, there's a spot where you definitely should close out. I'm talking about myself here, not about you. For you, it might not be so definite, but for me, that's exactly where I would close, for sure. If things don't go according to plan and the upcoming Fed meeting turns out to be very bad, terrible, the economy starts to fall, recession in America, everything goes wrong. Here's the mark. So here we have a structure. It's not a trend structure, but it's within the trend. 1, 2, 3. The turning point is 1 trillion. Right now, exactly here, there's a really nice low that's formed. And also, if we look at the volume profiles like this, we see that here is the largest cluster, one of the biggest. Around the trillion mark, beyond that, there's emptiness here. If we fall through to here, we fill this void and move on to the next targets, here and here. So all of this could drop as far as $800 billion. And that's just for total 3. As for what will happen to the small altcoins, I'm even afraid to imagine. In this scenario. That's why, by the way, last week we updated. Here it is, the high, right? December 24th, 2024, for total 3. I've already talked about this. So right now, the key cancellation point for me is this extremum right here. Here it is, 1, 2, 3. $1 billion. But to be precise, it's exactly $994 billion. Well, roughly speaking, 1 trillion. $1 trillion, roughly speaking. The cancellation point. If the week closes below, you can close all positions, because in that case, the risk of dropping down here to 920 and below, filling everything in, this gap right here, all the way down to $800 billion will increase sharply. As long as it's growing, this is growing, and that's good. I'm taking advantage of it. That's it. As soon as I see weakness, we'll close out. I'm talking about TC, but I'll let you know about it as well, in principle. Whether you close out together with me or not is entirely your decision. I'm only saying what I'm going to do myself. Although the overall trend structure, the long-term one, at the moment looks a bit different. Here's what it looks like. So, roughly speaking, 1, 2, and now 3, because we've broken this high. So, in fact, the long-term trend reversal is right here. Basically, by months, $660 billion. But to wait for this level and hope for a miracle that from here we'll just shoot up again is foolish. That's why, in these situations and according to my strategy, it's better to close out. Within its own trend, which now has an extremum and a fairly pronounced volume below $1 trillion. Close all medium-term positions. And then, whether there's a miracle or not, I'll just re-enter later. If there's no miracle, I'll enter here and here. That's it. That's just according to my trading strategy. It's the most optimal and correct option over the long run. It shows much greater success than just sitting and hoping that everything will go the way you originally planned. But for now, it's growing, and as long as there's a trend structure. Basically, in this window, it's all sideways movement and small corrections with a continuation upward. So as long as it's growing, you can take advantage of it. As for Bitcoin overall, I'll say this, 117, we haven't closed it. Here's the gap, it's still there, small, here it is. We haven't reached it yet. Everyone is still watching it. On the CME, that's 117,235. Actually, no. Listen, on the CME, I think we did close it after all. Yes, we did. It was closed on the CME. On the CME, it was 117,320 even, and that was on the 12th. For some reason, I thought it wasn't closed. That's it, the target has been met here. The minimum target, so this gap is closed. Even though on Binance, I think, and on Bybit, there was no 117 there. The high today was 116,760. Well, almost. Let's say it was practically there. We pretty much reached the target I set, 117,000. And now, either we make another push somewhere around 120, and then fate will decide with what strength we make this push. For example, at the FOMC. Or we don't make it, and immediately go into a correction to my limit order. But for now, I'm still expecting, considering this is a sideways market, a pullback to the levels of 112 and maybe even 110. I'm expecting a pullback to these two targets, whether it's from here or from here, just like that. Roughly, I'm expecting a pullback. The only thing that would cancel this pullback, as I already said, is if I see a consolidation on high volume above this channel, above the 118,500 mark. A good volume and along the trend, there will be another decent surge. Then yes, I'll cancel this limit order and enter at the current price. But I'll write about that in Telegram as well. And so you don't miss it, once again, I recommend subscribing to my Telegram channel. Thank you all. Have a great week. It promises to be warm, probably one of the last, if not the very last warm week of the year. Make good use of it. This was Mozart, wishing everyone good luck, myself a good day as well, and goodbye to all.